Hello everybody and welcome back to Suzerain. I guess we should be happy that we're still on part 1. Although I feel like we've done a lot, we've read a lot, but I don't feel like we've really made any headway. So what did we do in the last video? Well, in the last video we made a couple of big decisions. Number one, we made the decision to improve the road between Lashaven and Lindkerg. It was an old highway that saw the death of a couple of people every year just because it was so poorly maintained. So we're building a brand spanking new super highway that's going to connect those two. Remember, this area here has a tourist problem where this used to be a heavily tourized city, a city where tourists would flock to, but that economy has suffered because the tourists have left. And I'm betting that, where's the airport at? I thought there was an airport symbol somewhere around here. Maybe I just, oh, right there. See, there's an airport. I'm really kind of hoping, oh, there's an airport there too. Perfect. I'm kind of hoping that because this is an airport and this is an airport, that people who come into this area, they'll take this nice new road to get up here. Like they'll fly into here for holiday, they'll come up this road and they'll hang out here. Also, this area needs infrastructure. This whole area up here just needs more infrastructure before we can get foreign capital to invest. So we went down that road. And then there was a mogul. I forget his name, but there was a business. I feel like it's this person here. Maybe not him, maybe his son or something like that. Yeah, so this guy took over his father's business. He's now on the board. He's the president or something like that. And he reached out to us because he wants to do some business with us. So what we have done is we didn't really snub him, but we didn't allow him to contact us directly. He had to go through our chief of staff, right? So I think that would be more apropos, just so he knows that he can't just pick up the phone and call the president, right? I think that's a bad precedent to set right off the bat. If you're ever working in any type of management situation and you don't want to step on the toes of your lower managers. So it's always a good idea to have that layer of insulation between you and anybody else who's like calling in. And what else did we do? Oh, we had a party. We had a inaugural ball where a communist was killed. The Red Hand is a communist party in this country, and he was a member, or he had helped found the Red Hand, or he was a really big proponent of the Red Hand. So now we have people who have killed him, and the Red Hand are now going to retaliate, or so they say. So we are going to have that crisis. That's a new and emerging crisis. We already had a crime situation out here. I'll just run it down for you. This is West Virginia. No infrastructure. People are starving. Unemployment. Also unemployment over here, but not for the same reasons as over there. I don't know why this place is unemployed. I don't know anything about this region. It hasn't come up yet. This is the capital region. Things are okay. This area, I think things are okay. This is the only like bright spot in that this area here has momentum, and now it's actually producing money. Like we're getting more money out of this area than we're having to put into it. So hooray, hooray. And then something was happening here. Oh yes, violence. Yes, the violence was happening here. All right. So I'm just going to catch you up. You can watch the other videos if you really want to. We are going to read the security report. Security measures at the Capitol have been heightened after the murder of Bernard Uricus. I can't read well. I'm so sorry. When I was in college, I was a history major, and I could not read and I could not write well, so I changed to physics because numbers, I know how to read 6. Anyway, this was the man who was killed. The mayor of the capital city, I'm sure. Yes, the mayor of the capital city. Crap, I lost that report. That sucks. Where did that? Okay, that's gone forever. I thought maybe I did hit the X button. Okay, all right, we're just going to keep going. Just going to keep going. The mood in the Situation Room was gloomy. My cabinet members were gathered to discuss the shooting outside the palace. Lilias presented the initial report. Bernard was shot dead at 9:03 p.m. in front of the palace gates. He was an elected independent member of the assembly, and as you know, a famous communist. He spat the last word out with some distaste. Ooh! Really? Really? You're gonna, I mean, the man's dead. You're supposed to be kind of, independent. Where are you at? Where's Gaff at? There you are. Oh, yeah, she's been around for a long time. Okay, let's talk about term limits. There should have been term limits written into the original Constitution. Absolutely 100%. There's no reason why someone should be in Congress for 30 years. It's ridiculous. They get too much skin in the game. They get too much personally invested into it, and they consolidate way too much power. Here's my problem with people who are filthy rich, and we're talking millionaire, billionaires, people who are filthy rich, and people with a lot of political influence. I can't go to the gun store and buy a military grade rifle because it's too dangerous for me to own. I cannot go and buy one rifle that has a fully automatic capability because it's too dangerous for me to own. Dangerous against who? Dangerous against other people? Sure. If I went to someplace, I'd having a bad day, loaded one up, went to someplace, I could shoot fully automatic, I could hurt a lot of people, right? That's too dangerous. That is considered way outside the bounds for a normal person to have, let alone a rocket launcher or a grenade or, God knows what else they have. That's too dangerous for me to have, okay? But you can have as much money as you want. You know what I mean? Like, you can inherit, you can finagle, you can board member and regulation capture. You can do all that, and you can just keep accruing money. There's no cap. You can go ham making money. Political power, same thing. Go all the way to being the president of the United States, be a congressperson for 40 years, be the speaker, be on different committees and House intelligence committees or ways and means committees, right? You can hold a bottleneck on political power. That's okay. But for some reason, we look at a gun and say, no, that's too dangerous. Wealth and political power are the exact same type of dangerous as a gun. And you can have too much of it. So it needs to be throttled back. And, they say that your rights can't be taken away except by due process of the law. Okay? And then you have the right to a well-regulated militia, right? And the right to bear arms. But for somehow they've stepped in and they've managed to convince everybody that you can't have that, and that's not a suppression of your rights because the due process of the law has come through. But I guarantee you, if you went up to some billionaire and you're like, hey man, you got to give up your billions because you're too dangerous to have all that money at your disposal, the first thing they'd slap down is like, hey, where's my due process? Where's my due process? You can't take it away. It's my right. It's like, man, doesn't that suck? Doesn't that suck for you to get something taken away from you that you value? Just one of those things, man. Just one of those things. I'm not gonna get on that much more, but it just sucks. It really sucks. It reminds me of that thing where every time the monkeys go for the banana, they get squirted at by a water hose and a loud noise goes off. And then one by one, they replace those monkeys. And the new monkeys come in and see the banana and are like, man, I'm going to go for that banana. All the other ones will beat him and kill him to stop him from going for that banana. They don't want to be wet. They don't want to be shocked. They don't want to hear the loud noise. After a while, all the original monkeys are gone, and it's just the new monkeys who have been conditioned. And they have no idea why they can't go for that banana. They have no idea. Anyway, I'm in a mood. I'm in a mood today, folks. I apologize. The guards at the scene were 50 meters away and immediately took action by responding and killing the assailant, who is identified as a member of the nationalist organization, the Young Swords. Okay, so we have the nationalists, who are the Young Swords, and then we have the Red Hands. The president and his family were unharmed. Praise God. Yeah. An MP shot near the palace. This is absolutely unacceptable. What were the motivations of such a horrid act? Let's do what Julius Caesar did in that beautiful, wonderful TV show, Rome, where he goes to Egypt and Ptolemy has the head of Pompey and gives it to him as a token of goodwill, and Caesar picks up the head and says, this man was a consul of Rome. How dare you kill him? How dare you kill a consul of Rome? Who do you think you are to be able to raise a sword against a consul? So we're going to do this. He was a member of the government. He was duly elected by the populace. Unacceptable. I agree, we are reevaluating our security measures. However, the recession has affected my ministry negatively. This sets a dangerous atmosphere where the left versus right political violence in the 1920s might spark once again. A return to those days would be devastating. The coups are the reason why our country stagnated for a decade. The Minister of Justice sighed. Minister of Defense, Minister of Justice, Nina Morgan has sighed. The Red Youth has condemned the killing, but did not stop there. They promised revenge. This will in turn spark further aggression from the young swords. The whole cycle will start because of him. He expressed his views. We can't simply look away. Nina had always been one of the many members of the Justice Ministry truly deserving of the name. She had survived countless attacks on her character while fighting corruption within the ministry, and rising to power had only compounded her sense of compounded her sense of moral duty. Freedom of expression is part of our Constitution. We can't have anyone, let alone an MP, shot for voicing different opinions. I fully agree. We should protect freedom of speech. Here we go. Malianist ideology. Malianist? I don't know. Almost like Machiavelli. I don't know. The Red Youth promotes pose threats. God bless. That the Red Youth pose threats to our country too. We should be cautious. The nationalist youth's young swords have overstepped, and they should be put under the loop for such extreme actions. Okay, yeah, we'll just do I mean, I don't know what else there is to say. Like, yes, they're going to be held accountable, but you can't hold the entire organization accountable, because some people didn't know that was going to happen. So imagine you have 10 people, 3 of them might have known it was going to happen, right? The other 7, you're going to throw them in to prison or put them under surveillance or whatever because they didn't know what the other 3 were doing. What if they just want to be part of the nationalist movement because they think that's the best way to go, right? So we're just going to say this. Our laws do, and for good reason. Silencing voices only results in fear and stagnation inside society. We had that before and know very well how it was. I hear your concerns. Our police do their best to uphold the rights of our citizens. We will prevent such an act from happening again by making sure our security measures are reevaluated. Well, the car shouldn't have stopped until it was inside the gates, right? The gate should have opened, the car should have come in, and then, have him inside of an area that was secure. He shouldn't have parked in a parking lot and been walking across the parking lot by himself. Minister of Defense grunted in approval. He towered over the rest of us in full military uniform. Who is it, this guy? Yep. Oh, nice mustache you got there, big guy. His many war medals conspicuously on display. Agreed, ma'am. Our Grenadier, Gendarmerie, I guess that's some type of paramilitary group, will also help boost security in the rural areas where possible. There might be more to come. We should refrain from making the issue a political one. From the start, it will only add fuel to the fire. It is political, though, isn't it? You are right. We need to be calm in this situation. It's early, but will we attend the funeral? Our government is capable of maintaining security. Our job will be to reduce tensions. Yeah, I like that. Several police cars rushed past the Maroon Palace, and everyone went silent. Regardless, a full investigation on all involved parties is underway. We will find the subversives and punish them soon enough, Mr. President. I will do my best to help coordinate the administrative task. Justice will be served, and the rule of law will return to the country stronger than ever. Yeah. Now, I had my suspicions about you, lady. I really don't. I feel like you're going to use this as a. I feel like you're going to. We're going to watch this girl. I guarantee she's going to do something fishy. I guarantee she's going to try to use this situation to her own benefit. Only if we stay vigilant as a country. We must think about the upcoming budget. Who is this talking about budget right now? We're shifting away from this. This, oh, it shows you. It puts him up here who's talking. I see. So this guy is our Minister of Defense, and he wants us to look at the budget. It is too soon to jump to conclusions. Reckless acts will have dire consequences. I agree. Internal stability must be maintained. Our security funding might need to be increased. We should not lose sight of our real political goals, like the constitutional reforms. Yeah, we're not gonna close the door on switching from constitutional reforms to security, but that's the only thing that I think keeps both paths open. Agreed. We need to be patient until we have the full picture. Took some notes after checking the latest newspapers and reports. It seems that the tensions between the communists and the nationalists will escalate further. It will be very difficult to pass any meaningful change if there is chaos in the country, says Nina. We like Nina. We can't pass any constitutional reform in such an atmosphere. We can't fix the recession if there isn't stability. We will make it through this and deliver on our promises. We can't fix the recession if there isn't stability. We can't pass any constitutional reform in such an atmosphere. We can't pass any constitutional reform in such an atmosphere. We can't fix a recession if there isn't stability. Oh, I don't think it really matters what we say here. I don't want to say no, because then everybody's brain is going to start thinking like, well, we can't. Whether you think you can or can't, you're right. So if you sit here and you start saying you can't, you're going to put everybody else in that mindset. I don't like the word can't. Let's just keep saying we're going to power through this. Hell yes, Mr. President Rain. That's Peter. Peter. This will be it for today. Then we will convene again soon. Thank you all. Yes, yes, yes. Better. My goodness. All right. It says continue. I suppose that was our first day in office, right? I feel like that was our first day. Everything's been taken care of. We're going to hit the continue button here. It's going to process our turn. Yeah, here we go. A few days later. It looks like people are protesting. Let's read the newspapers and let's see what's happened here. Poet shot dead. Palace was elected as an independent. He was said to have repeatedly received threats from his nationalist. Lying face down, draped with a white sheet on the pavement in front of the gates. This is that lady. I don't like her. Said that she had assigned a group of leading ministry officials to lead the hunt for the killers. Once again, dark hands have chosen our country and spilled blood to achieve their dark goals. We are investigating all aspects of this crime. I don't like that she selected the people, but I guess that's her role. I just don't like it. Okay. Unity despite differences. As two paths in the future, and this year is critical to decide which path we will embark upon. Amid a recession, the lack of stability and security causes the death. It is an unacceptable reality. We need more jobs, a safer atmosphere if our country is supposed to grow and prosper. But how will we increase our employment and open new factories if there is blood flowing down the streets? Suzerain will never reach its goals as an advanced society if we descend downward. I agree. Murder was a method of the past. Okay. Oh, here's the radical, though. Farewell. Farewell. Look at this crap. Hold on. He is now a man who was murdered for speaking his mind. This cannot remain as yet another political murder. The sad reality is Suzerain. In fact, it is time to change this. It's time to speak up as people. Okay, okay. Oh, maybe I thought they meant like farewell as in like haha, like a snarky farewell, but apparently it was heartfelt. My apologies. The only way out of the recession is to bail out businesses. I was there in 2008 when the housing market crashed, and I have no idea, even to this day, why they didn't just pay off people's mortgages. That way banks would have had their money. The toxic mortgages, the subprime mortgages would have been dealt with. They would have been over. They would have been a thing of the past, right? Because we gave them so much money. We gave them, I think it was trillions of dollars. I don't know why we didn't just pay off people's mortgages and give people homes. Banks would have had their money. The subprime mortgages would have went away. You know, it's so, so frustrating. Because like someone like you and me, we're never going to be in a room with somebody who will answer our questions. Like it'll never happen. What was the famous quote? They want you to use the chain of command because they control the chain of command and they're quite sure that nothing will change. All right, what does this say? Has diplomatically critiqued the imbalance of trade between our countries. Concerns were raised over how much more Sorlin profits from net trade in comparison. Okay, so I guess we make a lot of money off them. A fair reevaluation of existing treaties in the future negotiations. Absolutely. I would love to sit down and renegotiate something. If he's not getting a good... If he's not... I mean, that's such a little bitty baby country there, you know? I'd hate for them to feel like we're just bullying them, right? Because they could be a good ally to us. We would hate it if they became allies with this guy, because this guy's already got a strong economy, strong military, and they don't like us that much, right? Yeah, overwhelming and bad. So if these two guys were buddies, man, that'd be bad for us. So absolutely, we would renegotiate that. This is going to be something to do with, yep. We have been receiving reports of lack of equipment and staff from the police. With the escalating violence in the city, the officers have been working 12-hour shifts to suppress a protest to no avail. Okay, they need help. Police understaffed. Yep. Got it. Minister of the Interior has been working with the head of the police to address this issue. Got it. What's going on down here? We haven't come into this place yet. Young Swords Youth Wing Leader dead after terror attack. Okay. Dead, 2 bullets in the back of the head. Okie dokie. So the Red Hands have attacked down there. A cache of weapons, KA-74s, 2,000 bullets, 12 handguns, 12 grenades, and a bomb-making equipment was found in a basement. No one has been detained, but yeah. See, they even gave you down to the bullets because they were so afraid. Like, they had 2,000 bullets. You look at somebody who's got $3 billion in the bank, right? And they can just go and... When AOC went into Congress her first term, she said that they had a mandatory meeting that she had to go to, which was about unions. And she was like, okay, cool. Unions is something I'm interested in. I can't wait to go see it. And she sat down, and apparently it was sponsored by like 5 or 6 corporations, and it was basically saying how bad unions were and how they weren't good. And it was like mandated because the party, the Democratic Party, had said that that's something that she had to go to as part of her onboarding. And she's like, where's the other side of it? Like, where's the union members getting to sit down with a bunch of fresh Congress people in a mandatory meeting being told the benefits of the union? Like, if you have money, you can make things happen. And it doesn't even have to be true. And now I don't care where you're at. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican watching the video. I really don't care. But what you should care about is the truth. And you should care about people having the opportunity to speak their mind. And if you do your job, if you listen and you fact check, then it doesn't matter who's talking about what. You're going to figure out who the liar is. You're going to figure out who is disingenuous, right? So that's my only thing. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. I just care about people having a voice and that the truth being able to be sussed out. At 11:48 a.m., an unattended bag in front of the NFP office was destroyed by police suspicion as a bomb threat, which were verified. On further investigation, the Communist Party leader has been arrested in connection with the incident. Jeez Louise. Weapons seized in a culture. So I guess it's painting the picture that the entire... Yeah. It's just painting the picture that the entire country is about to explode in violence because of this crap. Here we go. Let's read this. Chief of Police reports that 2 I don't know, women with affiliations to the whatever that is, Freedom Front, have been caught in the capital city before they could execute a terror attack at a crowded rally. Both women were listed as wanted criminals and enemies of the state. The arrested women have admitted their intentions to the attack on the nationalist front. Jeez Louise. Okay. Dinner with the family at home. Security briefing. Let's do the security briefing and then let's have dinner. I arrived in front of the doors leading to the Situation Room. Today's security briefing was arranged in two parts, starting with internal matters and moving to external matters after a short break. The minister, this lady I don't like, and why don't we get to choose our ministers? I guess that's not. I guess you'd have to disband the government, don't they? Isn't that how they do it in some countries where a prime minister is elected or a, whatever, and then he disbands the government and they have another election where they elect new ministers? For the first part, the law enforcement briefing. Okay. For the second part, the Minister of Defense would join with a few high-ranking officials, including the Chief of the Armed Forces. All right. Open the door. And Lucan, Chief. All right. And okay, they're all there. Sir, please take your seats. Not at Lucan. Everyone in the room sat down except for Lucan. He put his glasses, went through the documents in front of him. Shortly after, he raised his head to address the attendees. Mr. President, ladies, we will kick off today's meeting with the internal security briefing. I am assuming everyone has already been over the agenda. We all have a busy schedule, so without further ado, I will jump into our first topic. As we feared, the political atmosphere has worsened. The reports around the country indicate that tensions are rising as we feared. What is the status of his investigation? I have received news this morning that the investigation into the murder has concluded. Great news. I'm eager to hear about the details. Please enlighten us. The more we know, the better. After further investigation and testimonies, we have confirmed the motive and also the events leading up to the shooting. A few days prior, members of the Red Youth initiated a violent attack on the Young Swords local leader. We believe that the Young Swords then called for revenge, leading to the deaths. Okay, so the Red Youths started it. The Red Youth started it by attacking this person, and then they retaliated by killing him. So there you go. It wasn't just these guys, starting a fight. Now, they escalated it to, they killed like a huge figurehead. This person probably isn't on the same, caliber as this guy. Since he often spoke against the Young Swords and nationalist sentiment in the assembly, he was a big threat, not to mention his radical communist views. Right? Political violence needs to stop. He had it coming then. Radical. Suzerain just lost a great writer. For what? Yeah, I know. I picked up on the word radical too. The Red Youths are clearly to blame since they triggered it. No, they're not. The political violence needs to stop. Period. Yes, we kept it at bay for so long, but it seems that there is now new triggers. The investigation revealed a very troubling fact. The funding sources of the Red Youths have a clear link to United. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, this guy isn't on the map. United Cantana is not on the map, but he is the analogous Soviet Union, right? So the Soviet Union was funding these guys, and probably they told them to go after Jen, right? Like, they are the ones saying, like, hey man, once the revolution is over, you're going to have power, it's going to suck, but at the end, the ends are going to justify the means. This is proof that they are meddling in our affairs. Are you sure? Are you absolutely sure? Yes, we have found the cash trail. Several Red Youth members with ties to the United Montana have been detained, and the information extracted from them points to a preparation for a communist uprising in Sorland. It isn't unusual for the superpowers to influence other nations, but I think this case is a little far-fetched. The left lacks popular support in Sorland. Yeah, so I'm telling you, man, I would not for a moment think that this woman isn't cultivating all this shit just so she can get the communists out of the country. I guarantee you that this woman probably paid the Red Youth to do this, knowing that she'd be put in charge of the investigation, knowing that she could do this, and him, our chief strategist, is like, this is a little far-fetched. Like, I really don't think that the communists would do that. So I like him. I'm telling you that she is just bad news. Nina eagerly lifted her hand and motioned for her to speak. I went over the report in detail. It would be wrong to jump to conclusions about a clear foreign interference yet. It has humanitarian and cultural ties with many countries, including Sorland. My customer show United Front is clearly trying to explain. I also don't want to jump to conclusions immediately, but we shouldn't create a crisis. Yes. Nearly 3 decades ago, they funded and tried to establish a communist dictatorship in our country. If it was not for Colonel Sol, we would have a real. We would have seen the real crisis. Look, that's great, but that was 30 years ago. Okay, that was 30 years ago. Why would they come back again if it's already failed once? She took a sip from her glass of water and continued. Our police chief has linked the funding channel to the consult in. As we all know, the enemies of Sorland are many. Must have threats inside the country. As the government, we have all the power to deal with any threat. Our country always had issues. This is part of our job. We need to remain vigilant. Our country always had issues. This is part of our job. Let's just say that. If we give up essential freedoms to pursue temporary security, we deserve neither freedom nor security. This is debatable, but yes, we know more security and surveillance caused to this country under President Sol. Let's not forget that President Sol, God bless him, he really brought stability after a long period of bloodshed and chaos. But moving on. Our highest internal threat comes from the established 20,000 strong Freedom Front led by the imprisoned. They are a banned political organization, now a militant force that is trying to incite racial violence. They make a lot of noise but have little substance. A barking dog doesn't bite. Are they supported by... Are they cooperating with any organizations? Many suspect that links exist between the Front and the Workers' Party. We don't have any kind. See, the Workers' Party is also communist. I'm telling you, man, she just doesn't like communists. And it's because she has a hard-on for President Sol. Our intelligence intercepted 2 crates filled with weapons close to the border. They were filled with military-grade KA-74s. We expect that more have been smuggled in since the group were caught with these guns at a checkpoint not far away. Has been acting aggressively in the region for a long time. I'm not surprised they would attempt to weaponize against us. This is worrying, very worrying. Can we make any direct correlations to blame them? It was expected Rome would undermine us, but this has gone too far. We need to keep level-headed. They are looking for reasons to take action. I agree. They will play dirty while we play nice. It's a battle that we will lose. This is grave news, but we must be careful not to stoke the fires of It was the second most important threat. It is a gang violence that is threatening. 2 prominent organized crime families are at war. The potential for bloodshed is real. Which 2 crime families? Why can't we just arrest them? I don't think the gang's posed a threat to us. What is known as... Oh, I can't pronounce that. Corleone. What's the guy from Godfather? Corleone? That's that one. And the other is the cartel. So the Corleones and the cartel. They used to be allies until a recent disagreement. Both are active in the city. Or whatever. They're playing with fire. I want them gone for good. I trust you can handle them. They are insignificant, not worth our attention. Yes, I suppose you can handle that. I should be honest with you, with our current capabilities, we may not be able to prevent the further arming of separatists while maintaining order. If the law enforcement budget isn't increased, I can't be fully responsible for what happens. Our police units are spread thin as it is. I might give them a higher budget. I wish you would stop using the word thugs. The real problem is corruption, which is fueling the gang violence, and is very likely the reason why these weapons were smuggled in. A higher budget could help us in that. Valid points. Corruption is the root of evil after all. Your ministry must tackle the issue. Morgan, these threats seem more direct than a few bribes. We can look into corruption once the weapons have been found and the gangs have been beaten. Just like, well, see, now here's the thing though. Like, if she is starting all this crap just to get more money, then when the gangs are beaten, something else will pop up. When the weapons shipments have been seized, something else will pop up. Right? I do like her. I mean, I like her and I trust her judgment. So if she wants me to put more money into the Ministry of Justice, where the ministry can prosecute more people and put more people in jail, I'd do that. Just like previous administrations, kicking the can down the road. This is what's destroying our institutions. Well, this concludes the topic of the internal portion. Thank you for the update. Thank you for the overview. Have a good day. Until next time. Okay, cool. Cool. So we know who we're going to back. We're going to be backing Nina. Nina's our girl, and we're going to put more money, hopefully, into the Ministry of Justice so they can prosecute more people and it can end the corruption. Once the corruption is ended, hopefully we'll cut out this cancer. And that's what really sucks, man, is that we got to stop the recession. We got to up the economy. We have to stop the political killings, and now we have corruption. That's a lot of things to have to tackle in one term. Okay, so these boys are walking in, along with 3 high-ranking officials from the Ministry of Defense walking to the room. One of the men was none other than General Kruger, Chief of the Armed Forces. Mr. President, Iosif, I don't know how to say it. Welcome. Brought General Kruger with me due to the escalations at our borders. Stepped up and saluted. He was in his 70s. He's old guard, bulky, commando training. Take his hand, salute him back. Gentlemen, thank you for coming to this significant gathering. Let's begin. Took their seats at the table, and the rest of the officers stood by the door. Mr. President, the situation at the western and northern borders toward Rumburg is very tense. We are observing deployments of divisions close to our borders. Rumburg has been acting increasingly expansionist in the past decade and also interfered in Angola, but now they have turned their sights on us. This concerns me very much. What is your current strategy? Patrolling close to the borders with our border force and keeping army reserves divisions near. Seems like they want to increase the pressure both externally and internally. Mr. President, if I may, please go on, General. Picture is becoming clearer. The latest information from the interior about the weapons cache, and now there's an active military buildup at our borders. The entire situation was analyzed by our general staff, and our prediction is a future territorial incursion. I have complete trust in the general staff. We will not let you down, Mr. President. The general staff is composed of the smartest military individuals. I require an increase in the military budget to enlist more soldiers. Only then can we stand. Now, here's what I don't mind. I don't mind giving. We only have $2 left in our budget. I don't mind giving the ministry money to tackle corruption, and I don't mind giving the army money to recruit more soldiers, because if the ministry can stomp out corruption, then that means the internal threat is gone. If we can build up sufficient forces to defend the border, then that means the external threat is gone. I don't mind meeting this on two fronts. It doesn't matter what we do in the country if we're going to get taken over militarily. Like, it just doesn't. And if we pay more soldiers, that means those boys up in West Virginia, they're probably going to be recruited into the army, so they're not going to be unemployed anymore. So moving the unemployment into the army, not a bad idea. Except if they get radicalized while they're in the army. We need strong allies to withstand such a superior power. They are our nemesis. That is an understatement. Times are changing and war is coming, Mr. President. Whether we like it or not, we must be prepared. During the election, you said nothing about focusing on our military. I ask you to reconsider, increase military budget. Future and safety of Sorland, it is in your hand. Maybe you're right. Defense of our nation is important. I knew you would understand, Mr. President. Our forces would crumble under a decrease, and Rimberg would be much more compelled to exploit our weakness. Our country hasn't fallen to any invading force for 200 years. We cannot let it happen, Mr. President. We should find regional allies like these people to deter Rimberg. There are several options on the table. They wouldn't attack anyone allied with a superpower, but the superpower, I don't know if they'd want to be our friend. These options should be considered. Now, who is this? That's that guy up there. I like him. I think this is the person in the south. I really like them too. Yep. They could be considered, but why pander to others when we can solve the issue ourselves? We have no true friends outside these borders. That's not a good way to think about it. Like, you need to have good, valuable allies. Like, that's all there is to it. Like, you need to have people that you're building up relationship with years, like over the years, and like that's a smart way to play. Everyone fell silent when a soldier entered the room and let know that a call had come through from the ministry. A few minutes later, he entered the room again. His expression had changed. Mr. President, there has been activity close to the border. I just spoke with a local commander. Okay. What do you say? And get further updates from our branches. Understood. Raising military readiness is the first call of action. If there's truly an extraordinary attempt, we will relay it to you immediately and wait for your orders. Make sure they know we are observant and ready. Go and show them the might. Your service is appreciated, gentlemen. Remain calm. Make sure not to escalate things further. Nobody wants a war. Yes, we're going to say that. Most caution, Mr. President. Ale, sword, ale. Man, oh man. This is like our third week. Yeah, that's what I don't want. I don't want us to do something that gives them a casus belli against us. It's like our first week in office, man. Holy crud. Maybe we shouldn't be trying to go open economic. I made the mistake. What is it? Never anticipate a passive enemy. Never anticipate a passive enemy. And that's what I have done. When I started this, I anticipated that people would leave us alone and let us get back on our feet. But apparently that is not going to happen. Gosh darn it. Oh, not happy with that at all. Okay, what's this? Liz to plant a message from the leader warned us regarding a pathway from the mountains that allows traders of the state escaping to Sorland. Has demanded that the border security be increased. He also sent his best wishes about handling the protests. The hell? They're neutral and they're weak. Apparently, there's a way to get into Sorland from here, and that traders are using it to flee? Interesting. Huh. Okie dokie. Alright, what happened here? Around midnight, Red Youth protesters clashed with at the city center, resulting in many injuries. The counter-protesters were cornered in front of the embassy after they were pushed back by the police. The embassy opened its doors. Members escaped inside. The police were still waiting outside the building for the return of the... Oh, okay. Interesting, interesting. Man, there are a lot of different countries screwing with us. We gotta have dinner at some point. These people... Oh, this is the United States. Has completed the Missile 4, an intercontinental ballistic missile, which is estimated capability accuracy destroys targets at thousands of kilometers range. Capabilities have significantly increased, posing a threat to terrorists. Wow. Okay, so the U.S. has ballistic missiles now. We're at 44 minutes. We're going to have dinner, and that's going to be the end. Who is this, our wife? Nope, it's our kid. Papa, you're home. There's my beautiful princess. She was growing fast. Lifting her up was no longer easy as it once was. How was school? How was your mother? How was school? Boring. I like my old school better. I put her down, and my expression turned serious. Papa, are the bad men gone? It was only one bad man, and yes, he's gone now. I will never let anyone hurt you. Yes, your papa took care of everything. Okay, Papa. Mama, Papa's home. An apron and holding a spatula. What did I tell you? No running in the house. Yes, Mama. Kiss on the cheek. Darling, you shouldn't have. What do we have to cook for? Well, we're not going to jump on her like that. How was your day? Terrific. I finally got to do something. Grocery shopping just like old times, and I'm making your favorite. You mean? Yes. Salvador. Uh-huh. Vegetables and creamy sheep cheese sandwich between thin layers of dough. Ah, that sounds great. I'm going to kiss her on the cheek. Mwah. I'm worried, Anton, for you, for the children, and for the country. Yeah. Yeah. I'm hungry. We'll eat in just a minute. Will you help set the table? He's been in his room all day. Oh, Frank, you're getting radicalized, buddy. You're getting radicalized. We're gonna respect his privacy, though. Food is ready. Turn those records up louder next time, won't you? I don't think the neighbors heard. I'm your father, and you will respond when I ask for you. Hand over the cigarettes and join your family for dinner. You will do as I command. I'm trying to quit the nasty habit. You ought to stop while you still can. I'm just asking you wait until you are out of the house. Come on, have a seat. It won't be as tasty if it's cold. Talking about the goat cheese and dough, I guess. Say, do you know that they refurbished my grocery store? I didn't know if you remember the owner. He's been there every day for the past 30 years. Can you imagine doing the same job for so long? What if you were president for 20 years, for example? Honestly, would it really be that bad? I don't want this country to suffer under another soil. 20 years of this, I'd be dead. Oh, no. Sorry, I didn't. Dang it, I didn't. I thought it'd be funny, but yeah. Anyway, the grocer really is a nice person. He threw in some extra vegetables with my. Suddenly slammed his hands on the table, rattling and trying to. Why can't I stared at him? So this is how it's going to be. We're just going to sit here like nothing. I knew it. I knew it. I knew that he was going to. I knew it. Oh, maybe not. Okay, hold on. Dad, you could have been killed. Mom, you could have been killed. Any of this could have died. You know, I would never let anything happen to you or I, even if it cost me my life. What would you have us do? And yet we're all still alive. You will not raise your voice at me, young man. And what would you have us do? Fine, let's talk about it. Sit down. I know it was a close call, but everything is under control. Don't worry, we're going to be fine. Do you think I would do you think I would let us go down so easily? You don't know any. My security assured me that it took all necessary steps. It was one rogue shooter. We're not even the target. There you go. But if we were, Frank, listen to your father. If your father says we don't need to worry, then we don't need to worry. You have to trust him. We all have to trust each other. Got up and retreated back to his room. Front of the living room TV before returning to the table. Anton, he is still young. I know, but there is not much to shield him from. Anton. Oh, okay, talking to me, saying that Frank. I was going to say, why are you telling me that I'm still young? I'm the president. But there's not much longer we can shield him from the ugliness of the world. I made plenty of rash decisions when I was his age. He's scared, Anton, and frankly, he isn't the only one. If there's any threat, truly, I promise if there's truly is any threat to this family, you'll be the first to know. All you need to know, all you need to worry about is putting more listed on our table. I'm worried too, Monica. Things might escalate. I've been lying. Is my family truly over? Time would tell. Well, I mean, you're not. What are you going to say? Like, no, kids, the threat's not over. We could be shot any day now. Hope we don't. All right. Have a nice day. Sleep well. Of course not. All right. On that note, that's 50 minutes. Goodbye. I'll see you in the next one.